Hi, I'm Jami Petersen. This puzzling project is challenging both creatively and intellectually, but the best part is the multiple combinations allow you to change depending on your mood, your decor, the season, or who's coming to visit, like your sister-in-law. At home, I'm always changing my decor. I get bored really easily. It's always one holiday or another. Guests are always coming to visit. I needed a cool project for my coffee table. So I came up with this guy because it's interactive, I can change it on a whim, and my guests can play with it. And it always keeps the conversation really lively because I can tell great stories behind these photos. I'm starting with the ready-to-go blank board blocks from C&T Publishing. These are from the Create and Treasure line. These are the smallest blocks. They also have several books and fun stuff that you can alter and decorate. These are 1.5-inch squares, and I'm actually going to need 16 of these total, so that I'll end up with a 4-block by 4-block square. These are acid-free, and there's no prepping required, so I'm ready to get right to work. To decorate them, I'm using these fierce papers from Decopatch. I really like the rich colors and the bold designs. They're going to work great on this project. Actually, I had a hard time choosing just one, so I try to cram as many as possible into this project. The only issue that I had was with my 4 corner pieces. You can see I have 3 sides exposed as opposed to 2. So I solved that by creating gold corner pieces that will coordinate with all the rest of the papers. The first technique is just going to be tearing and gluing this paper, and this is really easy to tear, but it's super strong. So I'm just using thin strips, and I need to get my Paperpatch Glossy glue. This glue is a water-based glue, but once it dries, it becomes water resistant. I'll just start by painting on this paper, and this glue can go on both the top and the bottom of this paper because it dries clear. And this paper is wonderful because it's really easy to mold and it goes around those corners fabulously. I'm just going to let the paper do most of the work for me. It's literally like painting with paper. This is a great project for kids actually because it's very tactile and they won't mind getting their fingers a little bit dirty. I'm just going to tear these papers and layer them exactly how I want them. And you'll continue building the layers till you get all the way around your block. So those edges just get tacked down and you continue this. Once you're finished, you'll have a nice block that looks like this. While those 4 corner blocks are drying, we can actually move on and do the rest of our remaining outside blocks. So I'm taking a small sheet of my first Decopatch paper and I'll lay it face down on the table. I'll paint the top portion of my block and then I'll set it face down onto the back side of the paper. Give it a press and continue to do this with the 5 remaining blocks. Stick them down a little bit separated from each other because we don't want them sticking. And this paper is great because it's got a varnish built right in. It's specially made for decoupaging and it will work wonderfully. I'll continue my gluing, and you'll want to work a little bit quickly because this glue dries very fast. Once all 6 are adhered, I'm gluing now what is the top of my blocks. I'll bring in my second sheet of Decopatch paper and burnish those on. You can actually use a brayer for this, but it's not necessary because these papers go on really smoothly. Continue this on the rest of the blocks so that when you're finished, you'll have a nice set that looks like this. My second step then is to go in and cut apart the blocks. Once all the blocks are cut apart, you'll want to trim your excess pieces with a sharp craft knife. Now you'll want to trim, of course, all the excess, peel it off your block, and you'll want to bring in your 3rd and 4th papers to repeat the process. So these blocks will get adhered and you'll have your 4th paper on the top. Make sure you have a sharp craft knife, trim off the excess, and you'll do the final step with the 5th and 6th papers. Again, letting them dry in between. so that when you're finished, you'll have a set of lovely blocks that look like this. Now is the time to go back in and fix any loose corners that might have popped up. Any tears or holes can be fixed really easily with those scraps that you have left over from trimming. This is awesome because the paper is so thin and durable that you simply just layer it on right over the hole and you can't even tell that it was there. You'll also want to blend in your corners so that you have a nice seamless edge. So I have to admit something. Once I saw Christina's episode called Stuck on Mom, I've been a foiling fool. And so I did it again on this project. I really like the gold corners, so the foil helps to bring that throughout the project. I chose it because it's one-dimensional. It also molds well to the corners. If you want a full tutorial on this technique, go check out her episode right after this. So now that the outside blocks are finished, we have to talk about the inside blocks. You can see now that I have 6 different pictures, 3 inches by 3 inches square, because there's 6 sides. Keep it in mind when you're using photo editing software or you're trimming down your pictures that they're going to be cut again, both horizontally and vertically. So you'll want to be aware of where facial features are and try to keep them intact as much as possible. So I have my 6 pictures here, and these are all wedding photos. This is my theme. You can use whatever you like. Here's my great-grandparents. I've already cut them to their 1.5 inch squares, and they just go on the top of the block with a little bit of dry adhesive. You'll want to do this on every side, and then your project is complete. Now these papers are so versatile. There's a million things that you can do. Let me show you what else I've made. So blocks aren't the only thing that you can decorate. Here we have a book of my friend's new baby daughter, Clara, and our gold paper from earlier. I've also made these cute little keepsake booklets for some of my friends' weddings. The paper is awesome on its own, but you can also cut out the decorative elements and use them as embellishments too. Lastly, I made this accordion book for my cousin Greg's wedding. I think it would make a really nice coffee table project as well, or they can fold it up and keep it on the shelf. So we've made a multi-generational project that's colorful and good in any situation. Use it as a gift, for the holiday decor, or just to entertain friends and family. Either way you turn it, you'll want to experience all sides of this cool cube. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
For step-by-step instructions on how to create this week's project, download the design guide featuring special make-it-your-own bonus tips.